And what's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of the Talkin' NASCAR podcast. I'm being joined today by none other than Hitmaster. What is
Hello.
up? You got a background, I see.
Yeah,
Again.
I'm hoping.
I missed
I'm
that race. I was bad. I was mad and I saw the finish of that race, but it didn't really matter. He won the championship, so it didn't matter. But we got a lot to talk about. We're gonna recap the historic weekend at North Wilkesboro for the trucks and the All-Star race, because a lot happened and there's a lot to talk about regarding it. We got some. I said that I wouldn't get any more diecasts. I got 3 sitting with me. One of them's not mine. I'll explain that a little bit later. But I'll explain why I've got all that stuff. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Got a lot of news stuff. I keep saying that wrong all the time. And then at the end, we will preview a historic Sunday of racing coming up. That includes the Coca-Cola 600 and all the other stuff in Charlotte. So, should be a great, great time. But let's jump right into it. We're first going to talk... Oh, shit! I forgot. I have a new drink. I'll be right back.
It's the first time. It's just me and the guys. Hey, what's up? How's it going, everyone?
So I've had this sitting in the fridge for a little while because I wanted to try it on the podcast. It's not a new flavor, so but they came out with the new Sprite flavor, Sprite Legacy. This is limonade. The regular flavor is also like Legacy, but it's just the same one. So I thought I'd give it a try today. It's a strawberry lemonade, lemon lime Sprite. So give it a try. Smells good. It's not good, but it's not bad either. I'll drink it. It's not bad. I'll drink it, you know.
As long as it's not bad.
The lemon lime doesn't really work well with like the strawberry lemonade part. So that's kind of what the problem is. Not bad though. It's sweet. It looks like regular Sprite. Tastes pretty good. So good stuff there. All right, now we'll jump into our news. So North Wilkesboro started the trucks. I don't know if you got to watch any of it this weekend or not. But I did not get to personally watch any of the truck race. I had to work. I got to watch a lot of the Cup action though. So I don't know, Hitmaster, if you got to watch any of the trucks or not. But if you did, we'll recap that. But basically, Alex Bowman was supposed to drive the Hendrick truck for the race, but he's obviously still injured. So Kyle Larson got tapped to ride it. We saw a pretty decent race for the trucks overall, I thought, running in the daytime. Saw a packed house. That was the most packed truck race I have seen ever. Even though, it's not a very high capacity track, it's still nice to see the stands full. Saw some pretty decent action overall, and Kyle Larson pulled off the W, which was pretty good stuff. But I did get the chance to watch the heat races for the Cup Series, which were setting the field for the All-Star race. And we saw something pretty cool at this one because there was rain during the first heat race, and that meant we got to see rain tires on an oval. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first time we've gotten to see that. Maybe the trucks did it once. I don't remember, but it's definitely the first for Cup. And I gotta say, the rain tires didn't really affect the product too much, in my opinion. It didn't make it that much better, but it wasn't bad either. It definitely looked like they were driving a little more carefully with the rain tires on than not.
Right.
It didn't seem like the tires fell off as much with tire wear, which ended up actually being a pretty big issue. We'll get into that a little bit later, but it didn't really change it up too much. It was cool to see, though, finally, to just add to the craziness of the weekend of being at North Wilkesboro. It was so good. So that was fun. But the heat races were nothing special otherwise. So we'll just jump straight into the All-Star. Actually, Josh Berry won the Open. The Open, in my opinion, was actually more exciting than the actual All-Star race itself. We saw a big confrontation between Mike McDowell and Ty Gibbs, and big crash with Noah Gragson hitting the inside pit wall going into the turn, kind of like Phoenix thing I would do in a NASCAR game. But Josh Berry ran away with it, won the Open. And then Ty Gibbs got in via the second place, and then the fan vote was Noah Gragson. So they all transferred into the All-Star race along with everybody else. Now I gotta say, it was absolutely surreal seeing a cup race at North Wilkesboro live on TV. But you get past the fantasy, you get past the magic of it happening. The All-Star race was not that good. Okay. The ratings showed it lost to Texas. How do you lose to Texas? What? Oh my God. You gotta be kidding me. That was a very shocking thing to see. Now the race, I think North Wilkesboro was better than Texas only because of money reasons. I think they had to spend a lot less money in like upkeep and staff and whatnot, while also getting this about same attendance. So that meant extra profits, and I think it meant better for them. So honestly, I think they'll continue to go with, if it's down in North Wilkesboro, Texas, I think they'll just go with North Wilkesboro, but TV viewership was down. And that's mostly because we know the short track package with the next gen car has not been good. We know that. And it showed here. Arguably, I think this was it was just a ounce better than Martinsville because there was at least some excitement. But it was near Martinsville levels for what we've seen with the next gen car. And that was mostly because tire wear. Tire wear was a huge issue. I did not know that they didn't repave the track. Instead, they just filled in a bunch of the big cracks and stuff where the weeds were coming up with the material that apparently ate up the tires even worse than the old surface already was. They added a grip strip on the bottom of the track. People were hugging that the entire race if they could. And we did see in the heat races and a little bit in the Open and then in the All-Stars just a little bit, we saw the elements of the bump and run coming back with the grip strip. And I thought that was going to be pretty cool. We were going to get some one groove bump and run style actions like we've seen at Bristol back in the past with the old surface. We didn't, but with the tire wear, wearing the cars off so quickly, it was just almost impossible for that to happen. The race only had 2 cautions. The first was early in the race for a Recce Spinhouse spin. When he tried to cut down in front of somebody that he had absolutely no way of making. A stupid move on his part. I don't know how it didn't fuck up any more than that. And then the other one was for the halfway point in the race. And that was it. And we saw green flag pit stops, and Kyle Larson absolutely ran away with the race, dominated after taking the lead off a pit strategy. He didn't relinquish it, and won the All-Star race for the 3rd time, I think it is already, in convincing fashion. But it was a packed house, very exciting to see. There was some controversy. Bubba Wallace, specifically. The first piece of controversy came in his post-race interview when he flipped off the reporter, which, I mean, he ran pretty good. I don't know what else he really would expect. I don't know exactly the whole context to that because I didn't watch the post-race interviews. But people were mad about that. But the bigger controversy came the day after when it was revealed that his radio was hijacked by a fan who was making racist comments towards him during the race. And that's actually still an ongoing investigation there, so we'll have to update that when we get more news. But that was... Now, you want to get mad at him for flipping off a reporter, fine. But just somebody saying racist comments over hijacking the radio, that's just uncalled for. That's just bullshit. Don't do that, people. Come on. Bubba didn't do anything. We didn't even see any Chastaining. There's nothing to get mad about. Nobody did anything. It was just some good old North Wilkesboro style racing. And yes, it was North Wilkesboro style racing. Because apparently that's what North Wilkesboro is known for, long green flag runs, pit strategy, all that kind of stuff. We saw the old crew back too, the old Fox crew. DW was back in the booth. But they fucked it up by having Clint Boyer there too. Oh, he was so bad. He kept interrupting DW every time. You could tell Darrell Waltrip did not like Clint Boyer there at all. Why? I know you have him on. I know he's under contract. I know he's there for all the main races. But could you not give him the weekend off so that you could put DW in the booth with Larry and Mike Joy? Come on. Just fucking Lord. I hate Clint Boyer more and more every time he opens his mouth at these races. It's just stupid to see. But yeah, I mean, again, the racist comments, completely bullshit. They're not called for. Those people, those people need to go to a hole and never come back. I mean, they're not good people. Get the fuck out of here. Like, they worked their way up to race. They deserve to be there. Say what you want about Bubba, but I do think, I mean, he has won 2 races. And he's having a promising career, everything considered, with a new team and whatnot. So, yeah. That's my full thoughts. I don't know, again, if you didn't get to see any of it, you can hear some thoughts on stuff as well.
I mean, I only saw a little bit of it. I didn't watch a whole lot of it. I probably saw like the second heat, and that's it.
Okay. But it really does bring up is, the conversation now turns from North Wilkesboro actually happening to, will it happen again? Will they go back at all? Will it be the All-Star race? Will it move up to a points race? And I guess my thoughts on the situation is, I think it should come back, but I think the tracks need some modifications. One, I think it needs to be repaved. I think they need to do that because the surface is just jank. It's old. I know it's North Wilkesboro is unique because the back stretch is uphill and the front stretch is downhill, so that creates a little extra element to passing. I think they could still get away with having that with a repave because it needs to happen. You can't have drivers falling off that fast. I mean, they were coming in, blowing tires out within 15 laps around not even a mile long track, and that's just not called for. Unless they need to put a different surface down or whatnot. I don't know if full repave is necessary, I guess, but obviously the ratings weren't as good as people expected them to be, and that's also because it was on FS1, not Fox, which I think was a bad idea on all parts there. But I think it deserves to come back because I think it does have a lot of potential. They're working on the short track package, and that also kind of killed it. And I think it had great potential to come back. I think the fan reception would be good, and whatnot too. Do I think it should still be the All-Star race? Maybe one more year as it. I don't know. They need to make some work on it before it can really be a good points race, in my opinion. But I think having more cars and a longer race can introduce some new strategy pieces to work with the old tires. I mean, we see Donald Club put on some good racing with the old tires. Atlanta did that too, but they weren't short tracks. And again, this next gen car sucks on the short tracks, outside of a couple other things. But so maybe not a points race yet, but in the future, I think maybe 2025 is a good chance to maybe get it a points race. Maybe next year make it the All-Star again. But it also brings up the question, are North Wilkesboro style of revamps and renovations and returns going to happen to other tracks? You've seen some progress being made with Nashville Fairgrounds coming back. We saw Nashville Super Speedway have it happen as well, which was cool. A lot of people have been pointing towards Rockingham coming back. which would be huge. There's been some work done on that. Would that be the next All-Star race? Would it not? People are looking, is Chicagoland going to come back? Or is even Kentucky going to come back? Or are they going to go to a smaller track? Nazareth has been pointed out as well as a possible revamp position. And honestly, I think they could do it. I don't think they go any farther past the fairgrounds in Rockingham, though. I think Chicagoland was just off the schedule a few years ago. Same with Kentucky. I don't think they're ready to go back there if they ever want, even if they ever wanted to. Kentucky is a little more explainable than Chicagoland, who's getting the street course, so they're trying that out. So I don't see it. I can see it happening, but honestly, I think they were banking on a little bit more success, so I think they're going to have to really reevaluate what's going on with the schedule talks. So I don't know if you got any other points you want to put in about that.
I mean, from what I heard, the next one they're trying to do is going to be Rockingham. I think they said they're working on Rockingham right now. To put that in, which, if that's the case, that's good, but at the same time, then you gotta add other tracks, like you said, add other tracks to it, like Nashville Fairgrounds and Nazareth and all that. It's just, if you're gonna add one track in, you gotta add another one. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
good point there. Yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens with this. So it'll be exciting, but it came and went. It was not nearly as bad as it could have been. I think everybody loved it that was there. People loved it, the community and whatnot. So should be good. So all right, moving on. We got some news. So apparently, Chuck E. Cheese and Hendrick Motorsports are teaming up to bring Racing World. What? So it's going to be at many Chuck E. Cheese locations, targeted at children to get them into racing. So, from what I read, this is like going to be like a new like experience, like arcade machine sort of thing. Chuck E. Cheese is a failing business. COVID almost ran it completely into the ground. Why they're going with it now, why Hendrick isn't going with them now, I don't know. It's honestly not a bad concept, but it's a little bit outdated in my opinion. If you're doing this 15 years ago, I think it would have seen a lot more potential and success than doing now. But better late than never, I guess. And we'll that's a weird one though. I'm gonna see how that goes. Here's another big one. So I forgot to mention this on the Darlington episode, but we saw Carl Edwards again. He was back and he did part of the race in the booth. And he said that he was considering coming back to NASCAR. He said when he eventually stepped away, it was really easy to stay away, but it gets progressively harder the longer he stays away, and he's thinking about coming back. I think it would be awesome to see Carl Edwards back. But in lieu of that, another driver is thinking about coming back, and that is Casey Kane. No, I learned when I was reading this article, I learned that he stepped away because of health issues. I did not know that. When he, in his later part of his career, he was struggling with dehydration issues and just fatigue, and was having a lot of problems with that with racing, which eventually caused him to step away midway through the 2018 season. I did not know that, but he has apparently gotten that under control, and he thinks he is ready to possibly make a return to NASCAR coming up. And I think that would be cool to see both of them back. Carl's a very underrated driver in my opinion. Casey Kane had his flashes, he was up and down, but had definitely had some really good runs and seasons, and I think he was definitely a very credible driver. And I'd love to see him make a return as well. What team they would go to, I don't know. Because we've seen that Ryan Newman's return has not gone very well. He has not been talked about that much because he's running a Rick Ware car. So maybe don't go to Rick Ware. But, possibly Carl Edwards can make an appearance at a Toyota team. Casey Kane could come back. possibly even the Xfinity Series to start, and then maybe work its way back up into Cup once if he still wants to do that. Who knows? This will be very interesting to see what happens going forward, but and see if they can get some rides. If Ryan Newman can do it, so can they, in my opinion. So that's pretty cool. We got some fines. This is actually relates to Darlington and Kansas, but it wasn't issued until earlier this week. The 46, 47, 12, and 20 teams were all fined for window net infractions. So they were each fined $5,000 and 25 points. So big L there for window net infractions. So more Chicago street course news, as we always have to know. It's a staple on this podcast at this point. Shane Van Gisbergen will be making his NASCAR debut. He'll be running the Chicago street course race for the Trackhouse Project 91 car. So that's pretty cool. It'll be exciting to see him race in that. Now, I want your opinion on this, Handmaster. There's rumors going around that the Xfinity Series races could move exclusively to streaming services, with the top candidate being Amazon Prime. I like your thoughts on that.
Terrible decision. Just terrible. Because they tried it with the NFL. And look what happened. Trash.
Well, that's what happens when you move Thursday Night Football.
True. But anything that has Amazon involved is gotta go to shit. I mean, I don't like it. I feel like it's one of the worst decisions that they would make, because if you're gonna do a streaming platform, make it at least Twitch, of all things, Twitch or YouTube, one of those two. I mean, you get more people on that, not Amazon Prime. I'm not hating on Amazon, but like, just choose something that's actually decent.
I can't say that it's inevitable that was probably going to happen. I'm not happy with it, but I don't watch that much Xfinity anyway. So, Xfinity racing, I mean, I'm surprised Amazon Prime was the top candidate because they've already got the NFL. I don't know why they were there, but
Right.
I was thinking Peacock was going to be the higher bid because of their contracts with NBC already. But honestly, good move for the Xfinity Series, probably moving it there. I'm surprised that I don't know. They didn't say the Trucks was going to move there either. Obviously, I don't think Cup's going there. I don't know why Trucks wasn't also included, but I think Xfinity has lower ratings because it's in the middle. It's usually during the day. I don't know, but I think it's a good experiment. Maybe they'll try it for a year or part of a year and just say, "Oh, okay, this was good. We're gonna move the Trucks over here now." Or say, "Oh, this was shit. We're gonna try something different." I don't know. It might also get more people to watch because cable's not very cheap. Streaming you can do anywhere on your phone and whatnot. So we'll see. If that actually comes to fruition. Again, it was just a rumor, but a lot of rumors usually come true nowadays. So. Some more penalties. The 88 truck team, that was Matt Crafton's team, got penalized for having loose lug nuts after the North Wilkesboro race. So the crew chief was fined $2,500 for that. And a couple of other news topics. NASCAR will start allowing teams to add safety modifications to the cars. So they're allowing for, what this means is they're adding, they're like 6 safety paddings or like foam barrier things. They're going to add 6 of those, allow to add 6 of those to the passenger side of the car where the roll cage is. This is to prevent it from giving in as much. And obviously, this is in response to the Kyle Larson Ryan Preece crash that happened at Talladega, which saw Kyle Larson's roll cage really cave in after the accident. So they're going to try and give as much reinforcement. Now, I'm not very happy. I'm not very liking of this decision because I think it's a good thing that it caved as much as it did because it absorbed as much impact as it did and helped prevent any possible major injury that could happen to Kyle Larson. And we know Hendrick is having problems avoiding the injury bug this season, so you probably were happy about that one. Because it's supposed to do that, I think, at least. Now, was it that's a very severe hit. It's a rare hit too. We like to think it's going to be a rare hit. I don't know what it actually would be, but I don't know. It just doesn't. I mean, they had to do something because there's a bunch of big uproar about it, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with this one. I like your thoughts on this one.
I mean, like you said, the roll cage is supposed to cave in when you're racing. I always thought it was supposed to do that, but yeah, with I don't think NASCAR should do that. Um, Especially now that Ryan Newman is back for a couple more races, and we all know what happened one time at Daytona when he got hit on the driver's side. That almost killed him. So, I mean, if NASCAR wants people to die, go ahead with it. But I'm it's stupid. Anything that NASCAR does right now is going downhill. So it's like,
For the most part, you're true, yeah. Well, will be interesting to see what happens there. Last bit of news that I had: Josh Berry and Stuart Haas are in the process of finalizing a contract for Josh Berry to take over the number 4 car after Kevin Harvick retires. Anybody who has been following this news, this should not be a surprise at all. It has been rumored for a long, long time that Josh Berry would get the 4 car after Harvick retired because of the fact that Berry has shown a lot of promise driving the 9 in Chase Elliott's absence and now the 48 in Alex Bowman's absence, and possibly the 5 or the 24 in the absence of Larson or William Byron, seeing that they are yet to be injured. And Bowman is coming back this weekend, so it's possible. But I don't think this is a bad ride for him. Stuart Haas I don't think is as powerful of a team as Hendrick is, so the results might not be there. But I think Barry has got enough experience where he can jump in and get a little bit of a head start versus just jumping in without any Cup experience, and I think that'll be good. It's also really, I think, the best available ride option for him next season. If you get to get a Cup ride, I don't think anything's going to be better on the market. And the 4 ride's far from the worst ride out there. But it will definitely be big shoes to fill. It's a championship-winning team who had lots of success, and it's going to be quite difficult. But I think Barry is up to the task, and I'm really glad that he is getting a full-time ride, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch him next season. So, and maybe more this season. We don't know. We're not even halfway through. So, but that's all the news I had. If you want to give any more thoughts or news things that you had about that, but
right now I'm trying to figure out. Okay. Other than Corrigan Oil, the next race they're doing is July 7th. But that's
away.
about it.
Interesting. That's a ways away. Interesting.
Yeah, that's the next Night of Destruction, and then on July 26th is when they have a regular racing, and then August 4th is a regular racing. August 20th is a regular racing, and then September 8th is the last night of destruction. So it's like, I have to wait so long.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Well, but we're not done just yet, are we? We got some stuff to show off. So, you mentioned you ordered the diecast that you wanted to get. Did it arrive?
It did not.
Damn.
I'm currently at my friend's, so it may have arrived at my mom's house already, but I don't know until I get there.
Okay. Um. So, I know in the last episode, or episode 2 ago, I showed off a couple diecasts that I had bought on eBay with some birthday money. And I'm like, alright, that's probably going to be enough for a while. Till, next time I get more money. But then we decided to go antiquing the other day. And what happens when you go antiquing? You find cheap diecasts. And man, were they loaded. Loaded with good diecasts. 1 or 2 booths in particular. Just full of diecast. Dale Earnhardt, Taylor Labonte, Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, just oozes and oozes of 124s and 164s. There's Alan Kulwicki. There was more Dale Earnhardt. There was all this good shit. So I had to limit myself. But I saw a diecast that I knew that you had been looking for at the Bristol Dirt Race, and you weren't able to get it. But I sent you a picture with the very limited cell reception I had. You thankfully got back to me in time before the rest of my friends decided to leave. So I could, and it was indeed the one that you were looking for. So of course I picked it up. It will soon, it's gonna be yours. Soon, it will soon be yours with just 3 payments worth a month. But nope. Here it is. This is the one that you were looking for. The Pepsi Racing Chevy from 1999. I want to know, is this a Cup scheme or is this a Busch scheme?
Cup.
It's a Cup scheme. Okay. I was wondering that. So, no, I got 2 others as well, just for the record. They will all get their own individual reviews. They've already been recorded. They're on the schedule. But you get a little sneak preview here in the podcast, as you do. I'll open it up. This guy was $21. Really good steal. And yeah, this is not an official diecast in my collection. I am holding it for the master. Oh no! Oh no. Disaster. Disaster has struck. Alright, there we go. It does not like to come out of the box, though. I will warn you on that. Gotta give a little oomph. It doesn't have screws, but it just gives you a little oomph. But there she is.
Pure blue.
Oh yeah. I love the Pepsi schemes so much. It's in great condition. This string is because that's where the tag was. It's tied onto the engine. Here, I'll show you. No, it's tied onto the hood. You can see right there. So I might cut that off if I remember to. Otherwise, you'll have to do that. But it's easy to cut off. But yeah, great looking ride.
My favorite is the back part where it has the Fritos on it.
The Fritos logo, yeah. I love the Fritos logo on there too. It's on the sides as well. Beautiful, a beauty of a diecast. And I wondered if it's a Cup or an Xfinity car because it doesn't have it on the side. What it is, and then the font of the 24 is also different, so that's why I was wondering. But
yeah, it's a car.
Okay. Underside looks good as always. But yeah, this is a really beautiful paint scheme, so found it for a good steal. put it away now. If I can figure it out now. Okay. There we go. So that was Hitmaster's car. I got 2 of my own, though. I will show those off now. So we'll put that guy on the floor. So the next one was one of our last stops, and I believe I saw it before when we went there, but yeah, this was a steal. This was even more of a steal. This bad boy right here.
The junior one. Ooh.
For $20 at the store. In the box. From 1998, it is a cup car, so a very rare one because Junior didn't officially turn full-time until 2000. So we did run some races in 1999 under the A car, but only a few. But this paint scheme gained a lot of popularity because it has they did a throwback last year. The Trackhouse car, the Trackhouse duo did a throwback to these cars. Chastain did the Dale Jr. one, and Daniel Suarez did the Dale Sr. one. They did not have the Dale Sr. one. It was only the Dale Jr. throwback. Otherwise, I would have gotten both. But it is in great shape, as it should be. I found it funny. This is a Coca-Cola car and a Pepsi car right in front of it, so at odds with each other. But the Polar Bear, big marketing thing for Coca-Cola back then. Not really much anymore, but a little bit during Christmas time. That's really about it. The logo, the signature in the back, and old Burger King logo on it. Winston Cup logo with the famous DEI #1. There's a checker flag on the front bumper. It's a beaut of a paint scheme. I really love it. So that's definitely also probably going to have a place on the shelves once I get a chance to reorganize. So that'll be good. So we'll put that guy away. The box is not the best. There's a rip on the box right there, like a little tear, but it's not that big a deal to me since I don't display the boxes. So I'll put you away as well. Go to the final one. Now this guy, there were 2 of them. But I had to pick this up because it's such an iconic paint scheme. It's another one that was made a lot more famous with modern fans because of its throwback. And it was also a really, really good price. So it is the Mac Tonight car from Bill Elliott from 1997. And you might be thinking, holy hell, look at this box. It's massive. So yeah, there's 2 of these. There's this one, and then one that had the normal size box like these. Right? Look at the size difference, actually. Holy smokies. That's but this one was $16 while the other one was $21. Like, okay, well, I'm just gonna get the one that's $16 then. But it's a lot more elaborate box design. You'll see why it's so big in a little bit. Is everything that it includes. Actually, I'll read it. I will read it as well. So it includes driver's name on display base. There is a display base. Clear plastic cover. Limited production run. Certificate of authenticity. Super speedway design. Detail finish with side skirts, wheels, windows, and interior components. Right side flush fit window and authentic V8 engine details. And then on the back of the box, there's this message about the Mac Tonight campaign and everything that came with the paint scheme. I will read that as well. So it says, Mac Tonight is an adult-oriented character created in the mid-1980s to promote McDonald's as a place for dinner. The Moon Crooner that became known as Mac Tonight played piano and sang a tune, encouraging everyone to make it Mac Tonight. Now, some 10 years later, Bill Elliott and the McDonald's racing team bring back one of McDonald's brightest faces on the 94 McDonald's Thunderbird, beginning with the Bristol Night Race on August 23rd, 1997. Bill Elliott will also compete in the Mac Tonight Race, the Richmond Night Race, as well as Loudon, New Hampshire, Dover, and Martinsville. Watch for Bill and the McDonald's racing team's Mac Tonight number 94 Thunderbird in these events. Who knows? You might even catch a glimpse of Mac Tonight in the pits. Someone in the comments say down below if Mac Tonight showed up in the pits. That would have been awesome to see. Yeah, Mac Tonight was a huge campaign for McDonald's. One of the biggest campaigns of all time. Most successful ad campaigns ever. The Jamie McMurray did a throwback to this in 2016 at the Darlington race. Almost identical look. That diecast is hard to find, though. I have looked for it in the past. But this guy's a little more difficult to open than normal diecast boxes. Give me a second.
Oh, they actually had it for the, they had a truck one, too.
Oh, that's interesting.
It was probably just for one time only.
Maybe. There we go. Oh, you can even see on the sticker. This thing originally sold for $42. That's hard to read because it's scratched out.
Damn.
Got it for $16. It did have screws to connect it to the base. I got them off pretty easily, even though I probably should have kept them there. I wanted to hold the diecast on its own. This is the certificate of authenticity that came with it. They don't do these anymore. They should. This is to certify this 1/24 scale diecast replica of the 97 Mac Tonight Ford Thunderbird built, driven by Bill Elliott, is one of 5,044 pieces. Theodore J. Eskeed, President Revell Mongram Incorporated, a company that is probably bankrupt now. Oh, the 90s. And then, there we go. Oh, look, your face! There's a reflection of your face on the case. So it's a little hard to see because of the lighting. But there's a stand. It's got Bill Elliott's name on the base. I'll take the cover off now. It's really easy to detach it, which is nice. I say that as I don't remember how to get it off. Fuck, there it is. I got it. This is heavy, too. This case alone is pretty freaking heavy. But there's the base again. And there it goes. There's the base again. It's got Bill Elliott's name on it. Signature. It's a pretty cool base, honestly. But then, the die cast itself. There she is. Beautiful. Beautiful die cast. With Super 8 Motel logo on the back. Reese's on the top as well. Only the hood opens. The roof flaps in the trunk doesn't open. The wheels are not as well made, but they're still like good. I think they're supposed to turn. These are a little stiff. I can't really turn them. Maybe they're not supposed to. I don't know. But good detail. The inside with the chassis and stuff, that's a really bad look, are completely red, which is weird. I don't know if that was true, because the original McDonald's car for Bill Elliott back then was all red pretty much. So that might have been just a toss to that. But yeah, I really like this one. So this is probably going to be a display piece eventually because of the stand and everything. But it's not a Dale Jr. one, so I don't know if it, right now if it will. Now I gotta figure out how to put this sucker back. Be delicately, with careful. I'm a little worried of where I'm gonna store this thing as well, since it can't fit as well under my bed. It's a lot bigger. So I'm not too worried though. I'll find a spot for it eventually. Oh, don't forget the certificate of authenticity. It's got to have the certificates now. Alright, so that was all for the diecast. I saw a bunch more. Decided against them. Because the number one Coca-Cola car was the only Dale Jr. one I saw. And whatnot, so. That was not all for stuff I got, though. I got some pins. While I was there, these were each $3 a piece. I got a NASCAR Nextel Cup Series pin. It was a hood. So that was pretty cool. This was probably my favorite one that I got. It's a tribute to a Victory Lap. The Victory Lap Winston Cup Series pin. With a big eagle on it. Commemorating 1971 to 2003. The Winston Cup Series. So, I really like that one. And then the other pin I got was a Dale Jr. pin. With the MLB All-Star Game. There it is. So that's pretty cool. Yep, each of them are $3. Good pickups for me to add to the pin collection. And I got one other thing. I forgot to grab it. I'll be right back.
It's just me, guys. Again. How's your guys' day going? As he's walking to the back. Oh, coming back.
I'm back. So I did. Well, okay, so this was the last NASCAR thing I bought. I bought a couple non-NASCAR. I bought actually only one non-NASCAR thing, but I found this for $5. NASCAR 98 for the original PlayStation. And you're like, oh, you don't have an original PlayStation. How are you going to play this game? Well, it's backward. Well, PS2 is backwards compatible with original PlayStation games. And I obviously have a PS2. Get to play this. So, I was planning on playing it a little bit and getting some notes on it to do a mini review in this episode. I didn't get the chance to play it, though, yet. But I will definitely have notes and be ready to play it for the next episode. So, but it was a good kit. It was a good pickup. So, couldn't pass that opportunity. That was everything I got while antiquing. That's really all that I had for news topics. Unless you had anything more.
I got a new microphone.
Yeah, Master did. Tech upgrade. Let's see it.
Finally, I got a new microphone.
That's.
Let me just.
I like how it changes color. Where'd you get that at?
I actually got this at Best Buy.
Oh, interesting.
It's a Quadcast.
Quadcast. Ooh. How much did it cost?
$50, I think.
That's not bad for an RGB microphone.
But like I can.
It's adjustable too. That's really good.
And then I can.
Oh, nice.
But now you guys can. So.
Oh, did that like turn it off and turn it back on? I thought it just turned off the RGB. Oh, that's wild.
And there's these buttons on the back that I don't know what they do, but. Not papered right here, but.
Well, that's interesting. So, you guys are gonna get a quality upgrade on Hitmaster content from now on.
Hopefully. Now I just have to get a good micro or camera because I don't like this camera.
It works out fine though. It's not bad. Like, of course,
Yeah.
I maybe want to get a camera upgrade at one point too, because I don't like how sometimes it just defocuses on everything. Until you restart the recording program, which would fuck up the recording. But it's not. It does the job, but maybe one day. But anyways, that was all of our news topics. The only thing we have left to do now is preview Charlotte. It's a big day. It's a big weekend for not just NASCAR, but for racing as a whole. Of course, NASCAR's racing at Charlotte. We've also got the Monaco Grand Prix for Formula One, and the Indianapolis 500 is this weekend. Since I don't know much about either entry field, I'm not going to predict a winner for each of those. But I think we'll talk about them a little bit in the next episode, as kind of a recap of how it goes. But NASCAR's got a big weekend in Charlotte as well. I think all three series are racing. No. Only Xfinity and Cup are racing this weekend. So, get down to some predictions. So, start with the Xfinity series. Who do we predict to win the Charlotte Oval?
Or Xfinity.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go with my brother, Chandler Smith.
And why is he your brother?
Because his last name's Smith.
Woo!
I could have went with Sammy Smith, but I didn't want to. So.
Who am I gonna go with? Is a big question. I'm gonna go with. I'll go with Justin Allgaier. How about that? I seem to have picked him a lot, but he's always a solid choice. And then we got the Cup Series, of course, the Coke 600. Saw an amazing Coca-Cola 600 last year with a fucking barrel roll. When the last time you saw a flip at Charlotte. But great racing. Hoping for just as good this year, if not better, with the car and everything. It's a sold-out crowd for the second year in a row, which is awesome for Charlotte. I think it's going to be a really fun race. So, who do we predict is going to win? I'm assuming you can't get your poker chips because you're not at your house, but
I choose Byron.
Choose Byron. Huh. Who am I going to pick is the question.
By the way, I'm looking at the standings right now of the driver standings, and right now Ross Chastain is winning by 27 points.
That's insane.
And this boy has 0 wins.
Maybe on Sunday. I can't pick Chase Elliott to win though. Alex Bowman's returning, but I can't see him winning. Even though they should give him a commercial. They really should. And they didn't yet, at least. It'll be cool to see Bowman back at the 48. But again, like I can't see him winning the race. I just can't. I'm gonna have to go with. I wish Jimmy Johnson was running the race so that I could pick him, but I don't think he is. So I can't pick him to win. I will pick. Fuck, I'm blanking on who I want. I'm really blanking who I want to pick today. I'll pick Tyler Reddick. How about that? Kind of an out there pick, but anything is possible when you have a crazy weekend like Charlotte. So those are our predictions, and that is then gonna wrap it up for this episode. The next episode, we'll recap not just everything that happened at Charlotte, but also Indy and Monaco. Because I will make sure to watch all of those races. I'm going to give my thoughts on NASCAR. Shit, I can't hold on to anything. I'll give my thoughts on NASCAR 98, as well as I'm also going to get the chance on Sunday to play another NASCAR game for the first time that I've never played. So I will give my thoughts on that one too. What it is, and my thoughts on it will be in the next episode. And then we'll, of course, talk about other new stuff and get ready for the month of June for NASCAR action. So that should be a lot of fun as well. And hopefully, we did plan on having a guest today. They couldn't make it due to last minute time change. So hopefully get them on soon. We'll try and get that figured out. But if you would like to be a guest on the Talking NASCAR podcast, all you got to do is join the Pringles and Company Discord server, request the Talking NASCAR role, and we will give it to you, and you can, we'll schedule a time for you to come on for an episode. So, but that's going to do it again for this episode and this video. So stay tuned for much more amazing content, and until next time, both Hitmaster and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.
Goodbye.